I'm Steve. As a child, I yearned for the mines, but something always got in the way.
Go on! Get out of here!
But the call of the mines was too strong. So one day, I started digging and digging until I found this. A wonderland where anything you can imagine is possible. As long as what you imagine can be built out of blocks.
Atta boy!
Where are we?
Wait, who are you again?
Garrett the Garbage Man Garrison. Gamer of the Year 1989. Whatever. I barely think about it.
Welcome to the overworld. Anything you can dream about here, you can make.
Now let's have some fun.
This place makes no sense.
Don't I know it?
There are dark forces who want to destroy this world. If we want to stop them, we're gonna need to create something amazing. Let's go to the stash.
This is our decision. Nothing we can do. We've got the vision. Now let's have some fun. Yeah.
What's this junk?
An ender pearl. Teleports you to wherever you throw it.
Yeah, right.
And that was the only one I had. No biggie.
We were fated to pretend.
Oh yeah, there's one more thing you need to know.
Great. Now it's dark. Did that feel quick to anyone else?
The world of Minecraft is vast, mysterious, and filled with endless possibilities. It is a place where everything is built by block, vast forests, towering mountains, deep caves, and expansive oceans. The environment is living, breathing entity constantly shifting and evolving, much like a digital canvas waiting for its creator. The story begins in a small village nestled in the heart of the overworld, a peaceful place where people have learned to coexist with the elements of the world. The village is surrounded by forests, plains, and mountains, providing everything the villagers need to live a quiet, substantial life. It is a quiet, humble settlement with cobblestone streets, wooden houses, and the soft hum of villagers working in their farms and workshops. But peace is fragile in the world of Minecraft. And as we learned, no place is entirely safe. The balance between the villagers and the world around them is about to be dispersed. Alex, a skilled builder and adventurer, Alex is the protagonist of the story. She is resourceful, intelligent, and fearless. Alex loves exploring and crafting has made one of the most respected figures in her village. She is always searching for new ways to expand the boundaries of her knowledge and craft. Alex is curious about the unknown corners of the Minecraft world, and her journey will force her to confront the challenge of the world in ways she never imagined. Steve. Steve is Alex's closest friend and partner in adventure. Unlike Alex, Steve is more grounded, taking a practical approach to the world around him. He is a warrior and expert in combat, skilled in defending the village from hostile mobs like zombies, skeletons, and creepers like zombies. Despite his serious demeanor, Steve and has a loyalty to his friends, and will do whatever it takes to protect them. These are the peoples who make up the everyday fabrics of village. They range from farmers and blacksmiths to librarians and fishermen, each contributing their unique skills to community. Although they are kind-hearted, they are also bounded by the limitations of the world they inhabit. They depend on Alex and Steve for protection from the threats that lurk outside in the villagers' wall that undermine villains. In the shadows of the overworld, an ancient of mysterious forces steers and Enderman lives Elytra, who has gained knowledge of the powerful end portal. Who had gained knowledge of the powerful end portal. Elytra's intentions are unclear, but they are far from friendly, driven by a thirst for power of the knowledge. Elytra seeks to open the portal to the end dimension and unleash its unknown horror upon the world. His motives are rooted in a desire to control the world bent into his will. It begins like any other peaceful day in the village. Alex and Steve are working together on a new project, a massive tower designed to help villagers spot hostile mobs from a distance. As they work, an eerie silence falls over the village. The usual sounds of the animals, the chatter of villagers, and the rustles of the trees are replaced with an unnatural stillness. Alex feels a strange shivers down her spine. Something is wrong. Suddenly, from a corner of her eye, Alex catches a glimpse of something tall and black moving swiftly, throwing the forest at the edge of the villages. At first, she brushes it off, but the image lingers in her mind. That night, as the village sleeps, Alex decided to investigate. She ventures out to the forest alone, her sword in her hand, and divorces something that will change everything. In the heart of forest, she stumbles upon a dark figure, a tall, shadowy creature with glowing purple eyes. It is an Enderman, unlike a she has ever seen before. The Enderman turns and started directed at her, its glowing eyes filled with unnatural intelligence. Without a word, the creature disappearing, leaving Alice shaken and confused. The next day, the strangers' things begin to happen in the village, crops being withered overnight, animals vanish, and the village's protective walls are damaged, as if something powerful has been testing the village defenses. The villagers are frightened, unsure of what is happening or who is responsible. Alex, disturbed by the encounter with a Enderman, begins to investigate further, seeking answer from the villagers' elder. One of the elder, a wise old villager named Grand, speaks of an ancient legend, a story of dark force that once sought to control the world through the power of the end of portal, a mysterious structure hidden deep within the world. According to the legend, whoever controls the end portal can access the end dimensions, a place of infinite power and danger. The entity known as Elytra vanished long ago, but the stories of its power have lingered for generations. Gran warns Alex and Steve that if the end portal is opened again, the world will be thrown into a chaos. As Alex and Steve prepare for the lies ahead, they realize that the mysterious Enderman they encountered is no ordinary creature. It's a part of much large force, and the path of ahead will lead them into the most dangerous and unpredictable corners of the Minecraft world. In the aftermath of the stranger occurrence, Alex and Steve realize that the safety of their village is in jeopardy. The Enderman's appearance was just the beginning. Elytra, the ancient force had once sought to control the end portal, has returned, and with him, A new wave of a dark power threatens to destroy everything the villagers hold dear. The legend that Grant told is no longer just a story, it's a warning. The evening Alex and Steve gather in the villager square, preparing for the journey ahead. The elder Grant hands them a map that was passed down through generations. It is logged on the wall, with markings showing the locations of various structures across the world. The most important mark is faint, symbol of the end portal, which is said to be hidden deep of the overworld, protected by a serious challenge and dangerous mobs. Gran explains that only a few have a modern aided to the end portal of returned, and those who have failed never came back at all. We cannot allow Electra to reach the end portal first. Gran wants his voice grave. If he opens it, there will be no stopping him. Alex and Steve nods in agreement. They know their post won't be easy, but they are resolute. With the map in hand and their tools prepared, they set off into the unknown, leaving the village behind for the first time in years. The first part of their journey takes Alex and Steve through various biomes, each offering its own unique challenge. They start in the plains near their village, where the terrain is relatively calm and familiar. The air is fresh and the sun is high, casting a warm glow over the land. However, even in this peaceful setting, the feeling of danger lingers. As they travel, they encounter their must challenge a horde of creepers. The creature exploded with little warning, forcing Alex and Steve to fight and dog for their lives. With Steve combat skills and Alex's agility, they manage to hold their ground, but the encounter serves as a reminder that the world they live in filled with unexpected threats. They press on, traveling through forests and swamps, her and eventually reach a desert biome. The hot sun beats down them as they encounter their next obstacle, a village overcome by pillagers. These hostile mobs raid villagers, stealing resources and causing chaos whenever they go. Felix and Steve work together to drive them away, saving the villager and earning gratitude of the villagers, who gave them suppliers information about the direction of end portal. In this desert village, they learn more about Electra, a former adventurer, now a recluse, shares a cryptic story of a dark tower in the mountain of the due east, a place where stranger phenomena have been occurring. The adventure warns Alex and Steve that they are heading into a land corruption, where the very host itself seems to be frightened against them. With the map leading them further east, Alex and Steve press on, crossing ravines, navigating dense forest, and avoiding dangerous mobs. Along the way, they discover remnants of the past, ancient templates, forgotten villagers, and strange struggles, and the head of time when the world was different. They are closer to end portal than they realize, but the closer they get, the more Pulsar's journey becomes. One evening, as they rest in cave, Steve reflects on the significance of the journey village. He says, darting into a flickering fire, "We are doing this to save the world. If Electra opens the portal, no one will be safe." Alex nods, her gaze focused on his distant origin. "We can't let him win. We have faced worse than this before." As they continue, they enter the mountain and find themselves standing before a towering stone structure, an ancient forest that seems to pulse with eerie energy. This is the place the adventure spoke of. The forest is the first major obstacle on their path to the end portal. It is filled with traps, hostile mobs, and remnants of failed adventure who sought to conquer its depth. The forest, however, holds more than just danger. It holds clues to end portal locations. Alex and Steve venture inside, navigating through dark corridors and waiting mobs along the way. As they delve deeper into the forest, they uncover a hidden room filled with filled with ancient writing and maps depicting location of the end portal of the its activation. But they are not alone. Electra presence is felt here too. Shadows moves across the wall and strange sounds echo in the darkness. At every turn, they feel as though they are being watched. Electra influences is growing stronger, and Alex and Steve realizing they are running out of time. As they reach the heart of forest, they encounter Electra for the first time. The Enderman stands tall and ominous, his purple eyes glowing with an unnatural light. His voice, deep and resonant, fills the room as he speaks. You think you can stop me? Electra's voice echoes through the chamber. You are too late. The end portal is already within my reach. All that remains is for me to open it, and the world will fall before me. Alex steps forward, holding her sword firmly. We won't let you destroy everything we have fought for. Electra chuckles, his laughter cold and mocking. Foolish mortals, you can't stop the inevitable. With a flicker of his hand, Electra summons a wave of hostile mobs. Creepers, skeletons, and zombies attacking Alex Steve at all once. The battle is fierce, but and Steve is fight with everything they have. Steve defends them both his sword, while Alex uses her agility and knowledge of the world to outcome the mobs. After a long and exhausting fight, they manage to defeat the horde. But Electra is not finished. This is just beginning. He warns, you may have won this battle, but the war is over from. With the Electra disappears into the shadows, leaving Alex and Steve standing in the mindset of the forest ruins. They realize the true scale of the challenge they face. Electra is not just power. He wants to reshape the world in his image, and unless they stop him, the Minecraft world will fall under his control. After the confrontation with Electra in the forest, Alex and Steve are more determined than ever to reach the end portal before their enemies does. They now know the true scale of the threat they face. Electra's dark powers are growing stronger, and each day they delay along him to get closer his goal. The map they have is the only standing between them and destruction of the world. Their journey takes them into deeper, more dangerous part of Minecraft. The biomes they traverse grow harsher and more hostile. The days are long, and the nights even longer, filled with a constant sound of mobs in the distance. As Alex and Steve press forward, the terrain itself seems to conspire against them. Mountains rises, ships, and unfolding graven silence of the land, and sudden storms builds and home their plants. The next part of their journey leads them into a vast forest known as the Second Forest. This forest, one full of life, is now a twisted, corrupted place. The trees appearing broken and bent as land itself, and has been torn apart. The air is thick with tension, and the sky is overcast, casting everything is in ominous light. The ground is covered with dead leaves and decaying branches. Strange crawling mushrooms dot the landscape, their eerie light adding to the unsettling atmosphere. As they navigate through their forest, Alex and Steve notice the strange creature they inhabited. These are not typical mobs they are used to. This creature seems to be a natural blend of the natural world and the dark influences of Electra. They are twisted version of regular mobs corrupted by Elytra's power. Among them are mutant spiders with glowing red eyes, zombies like wolves that moves with unerring precision, flying creatures with jagged black wings. The forest is maze, and the deeper they go, the more dangerous it becomes. At one point, they are ambushed by a horde of corrupted mobs. Their fight is brutal, and for a moment, it seems like they might not make it out. Alex uses her pure thinking to escape a dangerous situation, finding a hidden path through the trees. Steve, ever the protector, fights valiantly, fending off the mobs while Alex escorts ahead. Their teamwork is tested to the limit, but together they manage to survive the onslaught. However, the encounter leaves them exhausted over more aware than ever they are treated they face. The corruption of the land is spreading, and the end portal is still far forward. After escaping the shattered forest, Alex and Steve find themselves at the edge of a massive ravine, where they discover the entrance to the ancient stronghold. This stronghold, hidden deep beneath the earth, is said to be key to accessing the end portal. It is here that they hope to find the final clues to unlock the portal's location. The stronghold is a massive underground structure filled with labyrinthine tunnels, abandoned libraries, and strange forgotten rooms. As they explore the ruins, they uncover more about the end portal and its connection to Electra power. Inside the dusty library, they find an old tome that details history of the portal of its creation. The book reveals that the end portal was originally built to protect the world from an ancient force. One of the cold receives reality itself. But the most disturbing part of the book is the prophecy, a warning about Elytra return. It speaks of a figure who will seek to open the portal to begin with a power to control to end dimensions and bend very fabric of the world to their will. The book ends with a chilling note: the portal must never be opened. To do so it unless the destruction of all. Alex and Steve are left with more questions than answers, but one thing is clear: Elytra must be stopped at all cost. The stronghold as final chamber hold the key, a portal room where the end portal can be activated. However, it is not as simple just activating it. The portal is protected by a series of complex mechanisms, traps and puzzles that will test their intelligence and skills. As they attempt to solve the puzzle, the ground trembles and they hear a voice echoing through the stronghold. You are too late. Elytra voice booms. The portal is already mine. With Elytra words haunting them, Alex and Steve rush to activate the end portal before it's too late. The puzzle in the portal rooms are incredibly difficult, requiring them to align ancient stone blocks, disper hidden codes, and active pressure plates in the correct sequence. It is a race against time as they feel the weight of Elytra looming presence, growing stronger with each passing moment. Just as they finally manage to unlock the portal mechanism, the stronghold begins to collapse. The ground shakes violently, and rocks fall the ceiling, creating a path of destruction behind them. With the portal activated, Alex and Steve leap through just as a stronghold caves in around them. The transition is dazzling as they are pulled into a swirling vortex of light and darkness. They emerge from the portal into entirely new dimensions. The end. This is barren, dispersed place, for removed from the vibrant world they know. The sky is pitch black, with distant stars scattered across the void. The ground is flat, covered with a purple black stone known as Kindstone, and the air is thick with an eerie, oppressive silence. In the distance, they can see towering end city, a surreal and alien structure floating above the ground. The end is a place of great danger, inhabited by hostile Endermen and strange, powerful creatures. The very air feels different here, thick, very unnatural energy, as in reality it's twisted. The landscape shifts unpredictably, and Alex and Steve must remain alert at all times. But their greatest challenge is still ahead. Elentra, now in full control of the end portal, appears before them, his form becoming more solid and terrifying with every moment. His voice is filled with malice. You have followed me this far, but it will be your last mistake. Elentra declares. This world is mine to control. It is you who are the introducer, and is you will be erased. Alex and Steve stand before Electra, their heart pounding in their chest as they face the reality of their missions. The in dimensions stretch endlessly around them. It illustrates expanses of dark skies and alien landscapes. At the center of its stand, Electra, his form towering and intimidating, his purple eyes glaring with malevolent power, his presence commanding the void itself. He has becoming more than just an enemy. He is the very implement of the corruption and the spreading through the world. You think you can defeat me? Electra voice rings out, low and thunderous, echoing across the in dimension. You have no idea what you are up against. I control this real map now. I am the end. Alex grips her sword tightly and determining unwavering. We have come far, Electra. We won't let you destroy everything we have worked for. Electra speaks. You still don't understand, do you? This is not just about power, it's about reshaping the world itself, bending it to my will. When the end portal is fully opened, nothing will be the same. All will be as I decrease. The world around them pulses with Electra, dark magic and the ground beneath their feet being to crack. The air grows thick, charged with energy. Alex and Steve exchange a glance. They know that the final battle is upon them. Without warning, Elentra raises a hand and the ground shattered. A wave of dark energy surged towards Ellen and Steve, sending them tumbling backward. The in-dimensions itself seems to bend and twist as it reacting Electra commands. Endermen materialize from the shadows, their eyes glowing a minuscule purple. The creatures, one mere bystander in the battle of the end, are now Electra's soldiers, ready to tear their enemies apart. Stay focused, stay else as he pulls Alex his feet. They quickly spring into actions. Alex allies ever departs around the battlefield, docking Enderman and striking them down with swift, calculated moves. She uses the environment to her advantage, leaping off of nearby graves and using her bow to take the enemies from a distance. Meanwhile, Steve faces off his Electra summoned mobs, his sword flashing as he fights off the wrestling on screen. The ground shakes beneath him, but they stand his ground, refusing to let Electra forces overwhelm them. As they battle, the sky above crackles with energy. Electra watches amusement, clearly enjoying the chaos. You think you can win against me? Against the end? Electra taunts. This is my domain, and I can reshape it however I wish. With a powerful roar, Electra summons a massive explosion of dark energy that knocks Alex and Steve off their feet. They crash to the ground, struggling to regain their balance, and Electra floats above them, his shifting between dimensions. You cannot fight fate. Electra rolls his eyes, narrowing with distance. You cannot stop the end. Just all seems lost. Alex and Steve receive a sudden unexpected vision. its grand appearing before them shimmering eternal form. His voice echoes in their mind, full of wisdom. You are not alone, my children. The end is not a place of complete destruction. It is a place of balance. You must restore that balance or all will be lost. Alex and Steve exchange hope. They realize that their journey has never been just about defeating Electra. It has been about restoring the balance between the overworld, the nether and the Indus city. They are not mere adventure, they are guardians of the world's stability. Bran's spirit fades, but his works lingers in their minds. The end portal, once a tool of destruction, can also be a tool of retornation. If they can harness its power, they may be able to defeat Elytra and stop this region to terror. The end portal, Alex whispers, that's it. The portal is not just a doorway, it is a key to undoing all the disruptions. With newfound resolve, Alex and Steve begin to make their way towards the massive floating end portal. Elintra seems dissidents from his position in the air. Furious, they are dare approach the source of his power. You are fools. Elintra screams. You think you can the portal against me? You think you can stop the end? As Alex and Steve reach the end portal, Electra strikes again, summoning a massive storm of energy. The sky above breathes, opens as bolt of lightning crashes down, and the end dimensions trembling violently. The Enderman begins to swarm once more, their number growing as Electra attempts to overwhelm them. But Alex and Steve stand firm. They know they have one last chance. Steve turns to Alex. We have to activate it together. We need to restore the balance. Alex nods together. They step towards the end portal center. Their hands touching the glowing stone. As they do, the portal hums with power. But Electra isn't finished. With her roar, he strikes a bolt of dark energy surging towards them. In that moment, Alex and Steve are forced then to ultimate sacrifice. The energy from the end portal surrounds them and they channel all their strength into the portal, attempting to restore the balance that Electra powers has shattered. The dark energy surges, crackling and twisting in a battle of light and shadow. Electra screams in fury, but it is too late. The power of the end portal reaches its peak and the balance is restored. The dark magic the Electra had unsealed begins to dissipate, the twistland of the end fading back into of its natural state. The Enderman, once the loyal to Electra, crashes their attacks and disappear into the dimension's depth. The storms in the sky fades away and the eerie, oppressive silence of the end is replaced by a peaceful stillness. Electra, now weakened and powerless, collapsed to his knees. His form flickers and distorts, unable to maintain the grip of one's hand over the end dimensions. The power of the end portal is too great for him to control. You can't, Electra gasps. His voice warily whispers, I was supposed to reshape everything. Not everything, Alex says softly. Her voice filled with determination. Balance has been restored. With that, Electra form shatters, vanishing into void. The end portal begins to close, its light dimming as the last remnants of Electra influences fade away. Alex and Steve stand before the now closed in portal, their body exhausted by their hearts filled with the sense of a peace. The world of the end, once corrupted and dark, is now a place of balance once more. The sky has cleared, and the eerie atmosphere that once hangs over the land and lifted. We did it, Steve says, his voice filled with awe. Alex nods, smiling faintly. We did. We saved both of our worlds. With the end of dimension, Sif and Electra defeat, Alex and Steve step back through the portal, returning to the overworld. The world they left behind is still standing, peaceful but forever changed by their journey. The village welcomes them back as heroes, and their story becomes one of the legend. But as Alex looks the horizon, she knows their adventure are far from over. The world of Minecraft is vast, filled with countless mysteries and challenges yet to be explored. The end was just the beginning, and as long as they stand together, Alex and Steve will continue to fight for balance, peace, and the protection of their world. With the destruction of Elytra and the restoration of violence in the in dimensions, Alex and Steve return to the overworld. As they step through the portal, the familiar sights and the sounds of their home welcome them. Lush forests, tall mountains, and the peaceful villagers dotting the landscape. Yet, things are different. The war against Elytra has left its mark. The world has scars that need healing both physically and emotionally. The villagers who once lived in fear of the spreading corruption now greet Alex Steve with cheers with gratitude. Their bravery was saved the world, and their tales will be told generations. But Alex and Steve know the wild end of the being restored. The overworld still faces its challenge. The destruction caused by Elytra's follows has left village in ruins, and the corruption that stems from the end still lingers in pockets across the land. We can't rest just yet. Alex says, grazing at the horizon, there is a lot of work to do. Steve averages his eyes scanning the area. We are helped rebuild together. As they begin to rebuild the village, strangers things start happening across the overworld. Unsettling whispers echo through the winds, and once peaceful animals become aggressive. The balance Alex and Steve fought so hard to restore seems fragile, as if something is stronger beneath the surface. One night, as they camp near a village they have just helped repair, Alex and Steve are woken by a mysterious sound, a low rumbling hum that shakes ground beneath them. At first, they think it's just another aftershock from an indisciplination, but when they investigate, they find the source of disturbance if something far more terrifying. In the distance, a strange glowing structure has appeared. It looks nothing like forest of temples they seen before. It's large and aligned, bursting of dark energy. It appears to be linked to a source they don't recognize, a power that seems to be coming from the deeping underground. I don't like this, Ellen says, her voice serious. Message isn't from the end, it's something else. Steve clenches his fist. We need to investigate. It could be a new threat, something worse than Elytra. Together, they decided to approach mysterious structure, their weapons at ready. The closer they get, the more the air crackles with unnatural energy. The ground is cracked and balanced, and the trees around the area are twisted as if they have been drained of life. This is not natural, Steve mutters. Whatever this is, it is not from the world we know. When Alex and Steve enter the strange structure, they find themselves in a massive underground chamber. The walls are lined with unfamiliar symbols, glowing with a sickly green hue. At the center of the chambers is a massive swirling vortex of energy, a portal unlike any they have never seen. This portal is dark, surrounded by jagged obsidian and pulsing with an ominous light. It hums with an unsettling power, and as Alex and Steve approach, they can feel the hairs on the back of their necks stand on end. They know they are no ordinary portal. It is not like the end portal or even the Nether's gateway. This portal is something ancient, something malevolent. Suddenly, a voice echoes through the chamber, low and chilling. You should not have come. The voice is deep, resonant, and full of malice. It feels like it comes from everywhere at once. Alex and Steve exchange wary glances, realizing they are no longer alone. From the shadows, as a figure emerges, it is tall and cloaked in dark robes, its face hidden in the shadows. The figure steps forward and the groom grows colder. I am the herald of Void, the figure says, its voice reverberates through the chambers. You have disturbed the balance once again. You have awakened the dark force that has been slumbering for eons. Alex and Steve stand their ground, their weapons drawn, but the figure simply watches them with cold, unreadable eyes. The end was only the beginning. The halt continues. Electra wants a pawn, a maze vessel, the true forces beyond corruption. The true masters of the end has been waiting for his moment. And now you have freed it. Steve takes a step forward. What are you talking about? Electra is gone. We stopped him. The end is restored. The hare chuckles darkly. You can nothing. The end is not only the same dimension contact to this world. There are other dark dimensions, lost realms where creatures far other than Electra dwell. And now have opened the gateway, you have unleashed the void. The ground shakes violently as the herald raises its hand, and the dark portal at the center of the room grows larger, its power of intensifying. You are too late to stop it. He heard says, its voice full of violently. The void will consume everything, the world, overworld, the nether, everything will be mine. Suddenly, the portal erupts with a blinding light, and from it emerges a monstrous entity. A beacon of pure darkness, his body a swirling mass of shadow and chaos, its eyes glowing with unhealthy purple light, and its form shifts between dimensions, constantly flickering and destroying. His heart steps aside as entity towers over Alex and Steve, its presence overwhelming. The air grows colder, and the ground beneath them begins to crack and collapse. The entity known as the Wide World lets and ear pricing, screeching, and echoes across the chamber. We must fight it. Alex says, her voice steady despite the fear rising within her. This thing won't stop until everything is destroyed. Steve nods. Together we will stop it, just like before. The battle that follows is unlikely anything they have faced before. The wild road power is overwhelming, wrapping reality around them. It sends a wave of dark energy crashing towards Alex and Steve, forcing them to dogs and fight with every ounce of their strength. The Helen watches from the shadows, its laughter echoing through the chambers as it sees the chores unfold. Despite the overwhelming odds, Alex and Steve fight back with determination. They use their knowledge of the world, the experience of their teamwork to survive. They strike at a wild world with everything they have, but it's filled endless battle. The creature power grows stronger with every moment. In a desperate move, Alex rushes towards the center of the chamber. There the dark portal still pulses with power. She realizes that the only way to stop the wild lord is to destroy the portal, cut off the source of its power. Steve, Alex calls out, we need to destroy the portal. Steve nods and follows her, using his strength to fend off his wild lord attacks. While Alex reaches the portal, she draws her sword and strikes, and polishing a stone, her blade glowing with a burst of light. The Wild Lord screamed in the fury as Alex's sword strikes the bottle head, and a powerful explosion of light erupts from the center of chamber. The ground shakes violently as very fabric of reality seems to tear apart. With a final deafening roar of the wild world vacuum consumed by the light, the portal collapses in out itself, and the dark energy that had been suffocating of overworld dissipated. The hull now defected falls to the ground, its form flickering and fading away like a dying ember. Alex and Steve stand in the center of chamber, exhausted but victorious. The world around them slowly begins to return to the normal. The corruption limiting as the balance is restored once more. We did it, Steve says, his voice filled with relief. Alex looks around, taken in the restored peace. For now, she replies softly, but there will be always a challenges ahead. We must have to vigilant. As they leave the chamber and make their way back to the surface, the overworld slowly heals. The thread of the wild lord is overcome. But the story of their adventure is far from finished. The world of Minecraft is vast, and new monsters will always arise. Together, Alex and Steve know that no matter what comes next, they are ready to face it side by side. The battle against the Wild Lord is over, but its effect still linger in the minds of the survivors. As Alex and Steve return to the overworld, they see the damage of the battle has left behind. Villagers that been thriving are now in ruins, with a structure toppled and crops destroyed. The trees that once provided life to the land are now withered, and animals that roamed freely seems distant, almost as if they had forgotten how to trust humans. Yet, amidst that destruction, there is a hope. The villagers have begun to rebuild, using what little resources remains to restore their homes and lives. Alex and Steve, through exhausted, know that they cannot rest. The overworld needs them now more than ever. We have won the battle, Alex says, looking out over the land. But the war isn't over. The overworld needs healing. Steve nods his gaze firm. We will do it together, one step at a time. The two friends set out help the village, using their knowledge of crafting, farming, and survival to assist in the restoration process. The rebuild home, plant crops, and replant forest. With every task they complete, they can feel the overworld slowly returning to life. The villager, grateful for their help, began to trust them more, but there is still underlying tension in the air. Everyone knows that the forces they faced are not gone for good. The world will always be in danger for forces that they do not understood. As the days pass and the overworld begins to recover, something unexpected happens. One evening, while Alex and Steve are exploring the wilderness, they hear a strange sound, a low, powerful roar that echoes through the land. They recognize it instantly, the Ender Dragon. But why should it return? They follow the sound to a towering mountain range in the distance. As they climb higher, the roar grows louder, and eventually they reach a shielded cave hidden behind a waterfall. Inside, they find a sight they never expected to see. The Ender Dragon, or rather what remains it, is lying in the cave. Its once majestic form of is weakened. It's been stormed and its body burst. It seems to be dying. Is this the Ender Dragon? Steve asks, his voice filled with confusion and awe. As Alex approaches, the dragon glowing eyes open weakly, and it lets a low growl. It seems to recognize Alex and Steve, its eyes reflecting both sadness and pain. I never wanted this. A voice echoes in Alex's mind. It is soft and full of regret. Startled, Alex looks around, trying to understand who is speaking. The voice is the dragon's. I am the last of my kind. The wild world corruption had a plan for me. I was to become its weapon to destroy all life the world overworld. But I fought back. I am not just a creature of wind. I was once part of this world. Steve steps forward, his expression softened. Alex and Steve exchange a glance. They know that dragon's power is not something to be taken lightly, but they also see the creature's sorrows and realize that it not their enemy. It is a victim of the same darkness they fought to defeat. We can help you, Alex says, her voice filled with determination. We can take you back to the end, heal your wound, and restore balance. The Ender Dragon weakly nods, it is not just my body that needs healing. The end itself is still broken. My king, those who remains are lost. If you truly wish to restore balance, you must help me. With the Ender Dragon request in mind, Alex and Steve prepare for another journey. One that will take them back to the end, a place they had hoped never to return to. They gather his supplies, craft new weapons, and say goodbye to the villagers who have come to rely on them. The overworld is healing, but there is still work to be done. The trio, Alex, Steve, and the weekend Ender Dragon, make their way to End Portal, which Alex and Steve had previously used to confront Electra. They enter the portal, and as they arrive in the end, they are greeted by familiar, yet hauntedly disclosed landscape. The sky is a deep purple, and the island floats ominously in the distance. The end is still damaged, its very essence scared by the world presence. We need to find the heart of the end. The Indian dragon says, its voice trembling, that whether healing must begin. As they venture deeper into the end, they encounter remains of the Enderman, who seems lost, confused, no longer the peaceful beings they once were. The corruptions from the world were has twisted them, just as it to the Ender Dragon. Alex and Steve fight off the corrupted Enderman, making their way to End's hut. At the heart of End, they find a massive crystal, cracked and darkened by the wild influences. The Ender Dragon approaches the crystal, it being shaking as it reaches out touch it. The crystal pulses with an eerie light, and the ground shakes as the dark energy begins to fight back. This is it. The Ender Dragon says, its voice barely whispers, we must cleanse it, or the end of the remain broken forever. Together, Alex, Steve, and the Ender Dragon work to destroy the corrupted crystals. Using their combined strength, they break the dark crystals apart, and with a final burst of light, the dark energy is expelled from the end. The Ender Dragon, its body glowing with newfound strength, lets out a triumphant roar as the sky above them seems to calm a starry night. With the heart of the end restored, balance is finally returned to end dimensions. The Ender Dragon, now free from the corruption, watches as Ender men slowly return to their peaceful state. The overworld too continuously to heal, its landscape slowly regrowing, and the villagers are beginning to rebuild their homes once more. Alex and Steve stand at the edge of a mountain, looking out over the world they have saved. The sun is setting, casting a warm golden light over the land. The sky is peaceful and the air is calm. For the first time in a long while, they feel a sense of peace. We have done it, Steve says quietly. The world is safe again. Alexa smiles, but her eyes remain thoughtful for now. But there is always something new on the horizon. A new challenge, a new adventure. Steve chuckles, then we will face it together. We always do. As the night falls, Alex and Steve sit together, watching the stars. They know that whatever the future holds, they are ready. The world of Minecraft is vast, filled with endless possibilities and adventures, and they are ready to face them side by side. The sun rises over the overworld, casting its golden rays across the land. Alex and Steve are once again hard at work, continuing their efforts to rebuild village and restore the world to its former beauty. But deep beneath the surface, something dark stirs, something ancient and powerful, waiting to break free. The peaceful of the world is shattered when a strange phenomenon occurs in the dead of night as the wind howls through the forests. Alex and Steve hear the faintless whispers, a voice carried on the wind. The voice is familiar, yet distant, a speaking word they cannot fully understand. It's as though the very air around them in alive with secrets and a hidden force which watching them. What is that? Alex asked, looking around uneasily. Do you hear that? Steve forces his bow. Yes, it is like a voice in the wind. But who is speaking? The voice continues growing louder as if we were only there towards something. The whispers carry with them an unsettling feeling, an unknown presence that seems to call them to the depth of the world. We need to find out what this is, Alex says, determination in his voice. Whatever it is doesn't sound good. Steve nods, agreeing, let's get in the bottom of this. The two friends set out following the strange whispering that seems to guide them deeper into a wilderness. As they travel, the whispers becomes clear, but they still cannot make out the words. The feeling of being watched grows stronger with every step they take, and the once familiar and landscapes begins to change. The trees grow twisted, their branches reaching out the like darkened claws. The ground beneath their feet feels unstable, as if the very earth is shifting. After a day of travel, they comes across a massive ravine, deeper than they encountered before. At the bottom of the ravine lies a dark, foreboding cavern entrance, the source of the strange whispering. It is the cave itself is calling to them, urging them to enter. This is it, Ellen saying, her voice screams. The source of whispers is down there. Steve looks lying into the darkness, the hairs on the back on his neck standing up. Something's wrong, but we don't have much choice. Let's go. They descend into the cave, their torches flickering into the oppressive darkness. The whispering glow louder, now almost intelligible, but still foreign. The walls of the cave are covered in a strange marking, symbols that Alex and Steve don't recognize. The deeper they go, the more they feel a presence, something watching them from the shadows. Suddenly, the cave opens up into a vast chamber, its size immeasurable. At the center of the chamber stands a massive stone altar surrounded by a dark energy. The air is thick with a malevolent forces, and in the center of the altar, a glowing crystal pulses with eerie, sickly light. That crystal, Alex murmurs, her voice filled with awe and dread. It is calling us. Before they can approach, a dark figure steps forward from the shadows. It is tall, Cloaked in black robes, its face hidden, the whispers creases replaced by a dim, resonant voice. You should not have come, the figure says. This is a place of darkness, where the realms of this world coverage. You have disturbed the place. They should never have been broken. The figure steps forward, revealing itself to be a sorcerer of immense power. His eyes glow with a malevolent light, and his persons feel like overwhelming weight, pressing down on Alex and Steve. I am the keeper of the realms. The Scorsese continues. I have guarded the boundaries between the dimensions for eons, and now you have broken them. Alex and Steve exchanges confused glances. What do you mean? Broken the boundaries? Steve asks, his voice cautions. The real arms are not just overworld, the neither and the end. The sorceress explains there are more real arms, hidden dimensions that no one has dared to enter. Real arms where dark forces dwell waiting to escape. You have opened a door and now the real arms are convened. The keepers of the alarms raising his hand, and the chambers begins to tremble. The crystals on the altar pulses with increasing intensity, and the shadows in the chamber seems to grow darker, more alive. You have awakened the ancient darkness, the sorcerer says, and it will destroy everything. Suddenly, the chamber is filled with blinding light as the crystal exploded in a burst of dark energy. Alex and Steve are thrown backward their bodies, slamming against the walls of the caverns. The ground cracks open, and from the cracks emerge creatures unlike anything they have ever seen. These creatures are twisted and monsters, their forms shifting between different dimensions, their bodies made dark of energy. The keepers of real arms step back, his eyes wide with fears. It's too late. The veil is torn, the real arms are merging. The monsters begin to spread throughout the chamber, and Alex and Steve scrambling their feet, their weapons ready, their creatures are fast, and their powers are unlikely anything. And they encountered before. They shift between dimensions, despairing and repairing in different locations, attacking from every direction. We can't fight them all. Steve shouts, there is too many. We have to stop the keepers. Alex says, her voices filled with urgency. He is the one of controlling this. With determination, Alex and Steve push through the outlines of creatures, dawdling and attacking with precision. They reach the keepers, who is standing near the now shattered crystals. The sorcerer looks at them with a mixture of anger and desperation. You cannot stop this, the keepers snarls. The real arms are already conveying the ancient power or awakening, and the world will fail. Alex and Steve exchange a glance. They know they must act fast before the entire world is consumed by the measuring real arms. Won the final push. Alex charged toward the keeper, and swords raced through. The keepers of the real arms raises his hand, summoning more one of the dark creatures to his side. The air crackles with energy as the creature closes on the Alex and Steve. But Alex is determined. With a swift stride, she breaks through the keeper's defenses, landing a blow that causes him to struggle back. Stop! The keeper cries out, but it's too late. Alex and Steve combine their strength, pushing the keeper's final defense and forcing him to his knees. We don't want to destroy you, Alex says. Her voice is steady, but we have to stop this. You have opened the door to destructions. With a final powerful strike, Alex drives her sword into the heart of the keeper's dark magic sealing the portal to others' real arms. These creatures souls in frustrations as they are pulled back into the dimensions. The worlds between unreal arms are closing. The chambers begins to crumble as the forces that held real arms together collapse. Alex and Steve make a desperation run of the cave entrance, barely escaping as entire underground structure whole space around them. As the dust settles, Alex and Steve stand on the surface, watching as the last remnants of the dark energy dissipate into the sky. The world is still standing, but the danger is far from over. The real arms may have been sealed for now, but now force that created them, the keepers, will not be easily forgotten. It is over. Steve asks, his voice tired but relieved. For now, Alex replies, but there will always be danger. The real ones are vast, and we have only scratched the surface. They look out of the horizon, knowing that the journey is far from finished. The work of Minecraft is filled with mysterious and challenges. And to be discovered together, they will face whatever comes next, always ready to do the next adventure. It has been weeks since Alex and Steve sealed their real arms and restored balance to the overworld. The world has slowly returned to normal, and the villagers are beginning to thrive once again. However, Alex feels uneasy as if there is something more lurking just beyond her reach. She has always trusted her instincts, and now they will have their another adventure on the horizon that will test her and Steve will never before. One day, while exploring a hidden cave near a village, Alex stumbles upon an ancient chest buried beneath a layer of rocks. Inside, she finds a map, old and weathered, covered in mysterious symbols. The map describes an uncharted religion deep in the overworld, far beyond reaches of known land. It shows a massive structure, an ancient kingdom that has been forgotten. It runs hidden in the wilderness. This map, Alex murmurs, her finger tracing the strange marking. This isn't a regular map. It is pointing to something important. Steve, who had been following her, steps closer. What is it? I don't know it, Alex replies, but I think it's calling us. We need to find the place. With the map in hand, Alex and Steve prepare for a new journey, one that will take them farther than they ever gone before. They gather their supplies, ensuring they are well equipped for whatever lies ahead. The villagers bid them farewell, offering their blessings for the journey. Alex and Steve set out, following the map direction into the wild, untapped regions of the overworld. As they travel, the terrains become increasingly difficult. Dense forests give way to rock hills, and the air grows thick through fog. The further go to the more world around this seems to change. Strange creatures they never seen before lurk in the shadows, and the weather is unacceptable, shifting between storms and eerie calms. It feels as though from the intelligence a forgotten real arms, one that has been hidden from the rest of the world centuries. We are getting close, Steve says, glancing at the map. This place, it doesn't look like any kingdom I have been ever seen. Alex nods. Whatever we find here, it is ancient, but I can feel it. This place holds a power we don't yet understand. But days of travel, they arrive at the entrance to a massive valley, surrounded by towering cliffs. The entrance is a colossal archway, covered in vines and overgrown with moss. But the symbols on the archway, those on the map, The Forgotten Kingdom lies beyond this gate, and they are about to uncover its secrets. The gates open slowly, cracking as they reveal a vast abandoned city. The air is thick with dust, and the once grand buildings are now nothing more than crumbling ruins. Giant stone statues stand in silent tribute to a time long past. Their faces weathered by time. The streets are empty, and the silence is deafening, broken only the sound of Alex and Steve's footsteps echoing through the empty street. This place, Alex whispers, looking around in awe. It's incredible. But where is everyone? Steve scans the area, his hand gripping his sword. There is something off about place. I don't like it. As they explore further, they find evidence of the kingdom of former glory. Intense carving decorate the walls of buildings and ancient relics and scattered across the ground. But the more the way look, the more they realize something is missing. The kingdom appears to have been abandoned, its people nowhere to be found. Suddenly, they hear a faint sound like whispers of wind through the trees, but it is not a wind, it is voice, soft distant voice calling to them from the depth of the ruins. Did you hear that? Steve asks, his eyes wide with concern. Alex nods, her heart racing. Someone or something is here. We are not alone. They follow the sound of the voice moving continuously through the ruins. The voices grow louder as they approach a large building in the center of the kingdom. It is a massive temple. It is door ajar beckoning the inside. Inside the temple, the air is thick with an ancient energy, crackling with power. At the center of the room, a large stone pedestal holds an object, a glowing crystal placed in with the eerie light. The voice now clear seems to be imagined from the crystal itself as through it is alive and calling to them. This is it, Ellen says, her voice filled with awe. This is what the map led us to do. Steve steps forward continuously, his hand hovering near the crystal. But what is it? What is doing there? Before Ellen can respond, a sudden rush of energy fills the room, and the crystals begin to glow brighter. The ground trembles and air crackles with power of the voices. Instantly, they sounding more urgent, more desperate. A dark figure materialized before a shadow silhouetted that seems to form of their very around them. I have been waiting for you, the figure says, its voice deep and resonant, filled with ancient authority. The time has come. The forgotten kingdom is awakening. The figure steps forward, revealing itself to be a towering armored figure, his face hidden beneath a dark helmet. The air around him shimmers with dark energy, and the ground beneath his feet cracks and shifts. I am the Dark King, the figure says, his voice booming. I once ruled this kingdom, but my people, they betrayed me. I was cast down, forgotten, but now, with the awakening of this crystal, I shall rise again. Alex and Steve stand frozen, realizing that they are unwaiting triggered the return of the kingdom's dark ruler. You, the Dark King, countries, his eyes glowing with fury. You have disturbed my rest. You have awakened the power that blinds me. And now you shall pay the price. The crystal pulses with energy, and the ground trembles once again. Dark creatures begin to emerge from the shadows, summoned by the Dark King's power. The Forgotten Kingdom is not just a ruin, it is a trap, and Alex and Steve are now its prisoners. As the Dark Kingdom missions swarm around them, Alex and Steve spring into action, their sword ready. They fight back with everything they have, battling the dark creature with skill and determination. But it quickly becomes clear that they are outmatched. The creatures are powerful and Dark King are energy bit overwhelming. We can't keep fight like this. A Steve sorted his breath heavy as he flanked off another attack. We need to destroy off of crystals. Alex looks around, her eyes searching from a way to break the Dark King hold on the kingdom. There has to be a way. The crystals is the sky. With no one time waste, Alex and Steve make their way towards the pedestal, cutting through the dark creatures as they go. The Dark King laughs a cruel, echoing sound. You cannot defeat me. The kingdom is mine. It always will be. But Alex and Steve are unprepared. With one final push, Alex leaps towards the crystal, her sword raised high. She strikes it with all her strength, shattering the glowing surface. The crystal shattered into a million pieces, and a burst of light erupts from the pedestals. As the crystal is destroyed, the dark energy surrounded by the Dark King begins to unravel. His form flickering, his power weakened the dark creatures. They were once under the control smashes into dust. Their persons vanishing as the kingdom begins to crumble around them. No, the Dark King hisses, his voice filled with rage. This cannot be. With a final explosive releasing of energy, the Dark King collapsed, his form dissolving into nothingness. The once mighty ruler is gone, his region of darkness ended. As the dust settles, Alex and Steve stand in the ruins of Forgotten Kingdom. The energy that once filled in air now gone. The silence is peaceful, and the land around them begins to heal. The kingdom, though broken, it is free from the darkened curse. We did it, Steve says, his voice filled with relief. Alex nods, looking around at the ruins of the kingdom. We did. But this place, it is not just a kingdom. It is a memory of long past. And now it is up to ensure that its story is never forgotten. After the fall of the Dark King, Alex and Steve return to the overworld, carrying the knowledge and lesson from their battle in the Forgotten Kingdom. The villagers greet them with cheers, grateful of their courage and the peace they have brought back to the land. But Alex, even protective, can't shake the feeling that the world is not yet out of danger. As the days go by, strange things begin to happen. The weather becomes erratic once more. Storms rise without warning, and eerie fog appears where there had once been none. Alex begins to have unsettling dreams about the Forgotten Kingdom. The crystal's fragment still falls in with dark energy, even in the deep recesses of her mind. She knows the battle may be won, but the war is far from over. In her dream, a voice calls out to her. The voice is an ancient wind, one that predicted the king itself. The ancients are awakening. The voice whispers, the balance is incomplete. You must return. Alex shares her troubling dreams with Steve, who thought he too go feels with Alex weight of ominous presence. Remains as captain, be stopped the Dark King. What else could be out there? But Ellen's instincts are unshakable. She knows something greater is settling beneath the surface, something that no one in the overworld is prepared for. Her journey in the Forgotten Kingdom through this seeming wickedness has only uncovered the first layer of an ancient mastery. And the map of to the kingdom was only a small part of puzzle. The voice in her dream has a message that must understood. a message that only can decode by returning to place where it we began, the ruins of the forgotten kingdom. And so, with resolve in their hearts, Alex and Steve once again set off this time to unravel a greatest mystery, the return of ancient powerful being who once ruled over world before lost of his history. As Alex and Steve travel back toward the Forgotten Kingdom, the land begins to change where once there dense forest and open plants. The terrains now go harsh and uncontented. Mountains rises in the distance, their peaks sorted in clouds as the guardian secrets of the past. The path is approaches, but Alex and Steve press on determining to uncover the truth behind ancient. We are close, Alex says, squattling as she looks at the horizon, the map through incomplete guides from towards a new location, one that had not been another journey. A darkened forest lies ahead, an area known for the strange occurrings and rumors of mysteries happening. You feel it too, don't you? Steve asks, his voice low. Alex nods. This place is not right. We are about to facing something bigger than we have interacted before. As they enter in the forest, the air grows thick with a strange energy. Trees towered overhead, their twisted branches blocking out the sun, casting long shadows across the ground. A strange sound echoed through the woods, whispering that seems to come from every direction. The very every beneath their feet alive, as if I watching every move. As the heart of the forest, I stand a massive structure, an ancient temple. It a stone walls covered in moss of vines. The architect is unlike anything Alex and Steve have seen before. Its both align a familiar with incredible carving and marking that suggested an advanced, long lost civilization. The door to the next temple massive, covered in ruins that seems to glow faintly in the lightning. This is it, Alex says, her voice filled with awe, the temple of the ancient. They step inside, the air thick with mysteries. The walls abounded with murals despite ancient battles, long forgotten rituals, and powerful beings that seem to float above the ground. At the center of the temple lies massive glowing crystals, similar to the one they destroyed in the Forgotten Kingdom. But this one pulses with a much stronger, more ancient power. This is where it all began. Steve whispers, stepping closer to the crystals. Before they investigate further, a deep rambling voice echoes through the temple, its power shaking. They were founding of the structure. Who dares awakes at the ancient? The voice booms, filling the room. You have to come to late introduce. The times has come for the world responses. From the shadow, figure emerged tall hominids beings, their faces obsessed by increasing glowing masks, their eyes burn with power of ancient magic, and their arms homes with an energy that feels otherworldly. They are the ancient beings who once ruled over the overworld, wielding power beyond imagination. You have disturbed the slumbed on the ancient. Once of them says its voice calm, but filled with undiscerned sense of authority. You do not understand the forces you are melding with. Alex stand her ground, called her heart, pounds in her chest. We did not come to disturb anything. We came to stop the rise of darkness. We came to stop you. The ancient regarded her slightly for a moment, their gaze unwavering. Finally, the lead ancient speaks. You believe you can stop us? You are but mortals, limited in power, limited in vision. The overworld is a real arms of chaos, and we will restore it to its true form. You have no place in this new world. Before they can respond, the ancient raise their hands and the temple begins to quake violently. The ground cracks open and the very air seems to be under force of their power. The ancient have awakened with them, come to promise of a new world, a world formed in their image. But battle that follows a fires, the ancient wild powers unlikely anything Alex and Steve have ever encountered. The summons storm manipulating the earth. The and control of fire I see with a Morse thought. But Alex and Steve are not easily defeated. They fight back with everything they have, using all their skills, their tools, and their bravery to fend off the ancients. But it becomes clear that this will not be a fight they can win with force alone. The ancient power is far too great. They need something more, something that can turn the tide of battle and prevent and the ancient springs of the bird in their image. As the battle of rages on, Alex and Steve realize that the key of defeating the ancient lies not that not defeating the ancient lies not in a strength, but in understanding their true nature. The glowing crystals at the center of the temple holds the power to bind ancients to prevent them to reshaping the overworld. But how can they harness its power? Alex studies the crystal, noticing that it is surrounded by a series of ancient runes. She remembers the inspiration she saw in the Forgotten Kingdom, the same markings that were on the map, inked by the crystal and the runes that held the power to control the ancient. Steve's Alex sorted. We need to activate the crystal. It is the only way to stop them. Together they approach the crystal, their hand alt settles as they make contact with the crystal. Their wounds on the wall of the temple begin to glow, but the energy within the crystal begins to pulse more intensely. The ancient sensing the shifting attempt to stop them, but it also too late. The crystal power surges and a blinding lift fills the room. The ancient recoil their power, weakening as the light envelops them. The temple begins crumble, the energy, the crystal forcing an ancient back into the shadows from the cane. With one final burst of energy, the ancients are sealed away, their power contained within the crystals once more. The temple falls silent, the echoes of their power fading into nothingness. The battle is over, and the ancient are once again dormant. Their thread quailed. For now, Alex and Steve stand amidst the ruins of the temple, exhausted but victorious. The overworld is safe for the time being. We did it, Steve says, breathing a sigh of relief. Alex looks at the crystal, now dim at lifeless. But this is only the beginning. We have stopped the ancient, but we don't know what other threats are out there. The overworld is a place of constant change, and we have to be ready for whatever comes next. With that, they make their way to of the other temple, knowing what their journey is far from over. The world may have been saved, but there are always new mysteries to uncover and new battles to fight. And Alex and Steve will always be ready together for whatever comes there. After the chores of the temple, Alex and Steve make their way back to Overworld, every carrying with weight of their victory, and mindful of the battles yet to come. The storm that ravaged the land has subsided, and the weather has calmed, signaling the end of the ancient immediate threat. However, the peace feels fragile, like a dedicated balance that could tip at any moment. As they return to village, The people greet them with choristers optimism. They heard of the battle and the mysterious event that led to temple destruction, but they do not fully understand the gravity of what Alex and Steve have faced. The duo shares their tales at the villagers, but even they don't fully comprehend the power ancients held on the fragility of peaceful they have just restored. We can't let our guard down. Alex warns. The ancient are not only the threat war faces. There are darker forces looking waiting for their moment. Steve, even the optimism tries to ease her worries. For now we have won. We have proven we can handle whatever comes our way. But Alex is not so sure. The more she thinks about it, the more she realizes that the crystal they sealed away is just one piece of a much larger puzzle, a puzzle that might reveal the ever greatest threats. In this following weeks, a stranger occurrence continues. Village on the outskirts of the overworld began to report unsettling sightings creature unlike anything seen before, wandering the woods and mountains. The once peaceful animals of the world are becoming more aggressive, attacking with unnatural ferocity. The sky above grows dark as something is blocking out the sun, and the weather patterns grown away more erratic. Alex and Steve are called upon to investigate the cause. They travel to utmost reaches of the overworld, hidden toward the Forgotten Lands, an area that no one dares enter. It is said to domain of ancient creature for long forgotten magic, a place where fabric of the world itself is resting. This place feels wrong, Steve says as they enter Forbidden Lands. The trees here twisted wherein their roots reaching like claws into the earth. I know, Alex replies, it's like something is watching us. As they venture deeper, they begin to uncover strange runes, marking on the ground which seems to pulse with a faint dark energy. Alex stops and kneels by one's marking. She touches it, and the energy surges, causing her vision to blur. In that moment, she sees a vision on an ancient creature. A creature so powerful that even an ancient had feared it. It is being of pure shadow, born from the chaos before time itself, and its name is the Wildbringer. The creature had been sealed away by the ancient long ago, its power too great to control. But the seal she has begun weakened, and soon it will escape, bringing destruction to the world. We have to stop this, Ellen says, her voice filled with urgency. The Wildbringer cannot be allowed to escape. If it does, everything we have fought for will lost. But Steve is not so sure. How do we fight something that powerful? The ancients themselves could not contain it forever. We don't have a choice, Alex replies. We need to find the source of this power. The Wildbringer must be stopped before destroying everything. Following the vision, they locate an ancient underground temple built deep within the Forbidden Lands. Inside, they find a massive stone shield, incredible with runes and symbols that matches those they encountered in the Forgotten Kingdom of an ancient temple. This is the final precision of Wildbringer, but it is begin. The seal is cracking, and soon the creature will be free. Help me, Ellen says, turning to Steve. We need to reinforce the seal. We cannot let the Wildbringer break through. Together, they gather the energy from the surrounding rules and perform an ancient ritual to stabilize the seal. But as they do, the ground shakes and a voice dark and old echoes in their minds. You cannot stop me. The voice of the world bringer booms. You cannot contain the source within. I am end of all things. The ground cracks open beneath them, and the wild bringer brings to materialize a dark shadow five figure seems to destroy facility. Reality itself, its massive form looms over Alex and Steve. A being of pure destination, its eyes glowing and utterly fire. The Wildbringer power is immense. It wraps their various places around it, causing the ground is crumble and the sky is darkened. Alex and Steve fight back with all their might, using everything they have learned from the previous battle. Alex summons the power of the ancient crystal, and Steve binds his ancestor sword, but the Whitebeard sucks off the attacks as if they are nothing. We can't fight it directly, Alex says, realizing the brute strength will not be in this battle. We need to seal it away, just like ancient did. But the Whitebringer laughs. You are nothing but mortals. You cannot hope to see me again. The world is mine for the taking. In a desperate attempt, Alex and Steve used the energy from a crystal they took from ancient temple, combining it with their own strength. They focus all their power on the Wildbringer hearts, hoping to create a new shield, a stronger, more permanent. The battle rages on with the Wildbringer unsailing wave after the destruction. The land around the beam of shattered, but the sky itself seems to burn. But Alex and Steve hold their ground, their determination unwavering. Finally, a powerful surge of the energy, they manage to drive the Wildbringer back into its presence, reinforcing the seal with the combined power of the crystals and their own being. The creature lets out on the final, acknowledging the screams before sealed away once more. With the Wildbringer sealed and the overworld saved, Alex and Steve return to the village. The people, through shaken by their destructions, are grateful to their heroes' bravery. The world is safe again for now. Alex looks to Steve, a tired but satisfied smile on her face. We did it, she says. Steve nods, yes, but we know that peace is never permanent in this world. There is always something new on the horizon. They both look out over the horizon, knowing that their journey is far from over. The world is vast, filled with endless mysteries and challenges. But their strength and their bond, Alex and Steve are ready to whatever comes next. Though the overworld has been saved from the brink of destruction, Alex and Steve both feel unnecessary sense of forwarding. The peace they have fought for seems fragile as it could shatter at any moment. In the weeks following their battle with the Wildbringer, strange phenomena begin to occur across the land. The very fabric of reality seems to be weakened, cracks formed in the sky, revealing glimpses of the world's worlds that Alex and Steve know nothing about. We see things that changed before. Steve says everything as the set the fire. But this feels different, like the balance of everything is coming undone. Alex notes her expression pensive. It's not just overworld that risk. Beach cracks, they gateways, and I think they have leading to other realms, other dimensions if they aren't sealed. The worlds could collide, a voice distant and eerie, echoes in their minds. The sudden realize happened, the time of reckoning is high. Alex and Steve exchanges worried glances. What was that? Alex mutters. I don't know, Steve replies, standing up, but I don't like it. The following days, the cracks in the sky grow larger and more portals begin to open. Creatures from other realms slips before waking heaven in the overworld. These new creatures are unlike anything the duos has ever encountered. Beasts made of pure shadows, other composed on fire and ice, and every terrifying creatures that appears to be made of very essence of time itself. We need to find out of about these portals, Alex says. The sooner we understand them, the sooner we can stop in madness. Determined, they set off towards the fastest reaches of the overworld, searching for answers. Along the way, they meet a mysterious figure, an old sage who lived through the ages, has knowledge of realms beyond their own. You seek to close the portals. The sage says, his eyes gleaming with ancient wisdom. But you are not the first to try. Many before you failed it, and many have fallen. Alex raises and eyebrows. They will have the first success. The stage not, but his expression stagnant. You know, do not understand the true nature of these portals. They were not created by chance. They are results of ancient force, the entity that exists beyond the boundaries of all worlds. The sage tells Alex and Steve of an ancient